Inside OpenAI, ChatGPT is no longer the main interface for work. As of June 11, 2026, Codex accounted for 99.8% of the output tokens OpenAI workers generated across Codex and ChatGPT. That is not a small feature win. It is a workflow migration. The company building the models is already moving daily work out of chat and into delegated agent runs. ChatGPT is useful when the goal is to ask, compare, or iterate. Codex is different. It can inspect files, run commands, modify artifacts, and carry a task forward across multiple steps. In OpenAI's own paper, that is the shift from conversational AI to agentic AI. The key unit is no longer a prompt. It is a delegated workflow. The growth numbers show why this matters. OpenAI reports that Codex weekly active usage grew more than fivefold between January 1 and June 1, 2026. Among organizational users, 17.3% used Codex in the prior 28 days, but Codex already produced 63.3% of those users' output tokens. User counts are lagging. Work volume is not. That gap matters because an agentic tool changes more than usage frequency. A person can open chat every day and still delegate almost nothing. A smaller number of Codex users can move much larger chunks of production through the system. Token share becomes a signal that work is being handed off, not just discussed. OpenAI also found that Codex use is strongly oriented toward delegated production. Users are not mainly asking for ideas. They are debugging, validating changes, drafting documents, analyzing data, and configuring systems. The paper says these tasks are better understood as production than consultation. In plain language, the system is doing work, not only answering questions about work. The behavior of heavy users is even more revealing. More than 10% of users manage 3 or more concurrent Codex agents at some point each week. That is not a chatbot habit. That is operator behavior. One person opens several parallel work streams, monitors them, reviews outputs, and coordinates the next step. Reusable workflows are starting to harden too. 26.6% of users employ skills which let people share instructions for complex workflows. Once a workflow becomes reusable, the conversation matters less than the operating pattern. Good prompts help. Repeated systems compound. OpenAI says non-developer use is growing quickly, especially inside OpenAI. Codex started in software, but the paper shows it expanding into research, planning, communication, data analysis, product work, recruiting, sales, and other non-engineering tasks. The shift is no longer just about coding faster. It is about knowledge work becoming delegable. That is why OpenAI's enterprise roadmap points toward a unified AI super app. In April 2026, OpenAI described a future where employees work with AI agents throughout the day to complete tasks and take action across the tools they already use. The strategic point is clear. AI is moving from side window to work surface. Once that happens, the management problem changes. The best teams will not win because they asked slightly better questions. They will win because they designed better workflows, better permissions, better context, and better review loops. The skill moves from prompting alone to orchestration. OpenAI's July 14, 2026 article on managing AI investments makes the operational warning explicit. First, sharpen visibility into usage and spend. Third, govern advanced workflows before they scale. If agentic work grows faster than oversight, the bill goes up before the value becomes legible. That is why visibility is now part of the product. OpenAI's admin materials say workspace owners can inspect agent details, recent activity, connected apps, memory files, schedules, and analytics such as unique users and runs over time. Once agents own work, leaders need run-level visibility, not just seat counts. This also explains why raw adoption numbers can mislead executives. A team with low agent penetration can still route its most valuable workflows through a small number of heavy users. A dashboard that tracks only active seats misses the real shift. The key questions are what got delegated, how often it ran, what it cost, and what outcome it produced. Consider a marketing workflow. One agent pulls source material, another drafts copy, a third checks brand constraints, and a human approves the final post. That stack can save real time, but only if the organization measures acceptance rate, rework, approval load, and publishing risk. Otherwise, speed hides waste. Now imagine a finance or operations workflow. An agent parses incoming files, flags anomalies, drafts an internal memo, and prepares a human decision. This is exactly where the agent model is strongest. Repetitive structure goes to the system. Accountability for the irreversible step stays with the person. The practical move is not to deploy 10 agents at once. Start with one repeated workflow. Measure the baseline time, define the success condition. Limit the tools, decide where human review belongs, then compare cost and accepted output before you widen the lane. A serious scorecard should track at least 6 things: cost per accepted outcome, total runtime, human review minutes, rework rate, tool failures, and rollback events. Without those signals, an organization can feel busy with AI and still know almost nothing about whether agentic work is actually compounding. Control also needs stop conditions. Which runs can be retried automatically? Which ones must escalate? Which actions require approval? Which accounts can be revoked immediately? Which workflows can be rolled back safely? A company that cannot answer those questions has automation, but not operations. By this point, the executive test becomes simple. How many live agents do we have? Who owns them? Which apps do they touch? Where is spend increasing? Which runs require approval? Which logs explain the result? If those answers are scattered across chats and inboxes, the workflow layer is still immature. The payoff is not that chat disappears. Chat remains useful for learning, exploration, and quick drafting. The deeper change is that valuable work is starting to move into delegated systems that can run, repeat, and scale. The best teams will manage agents the way strong operators manage people, tools, and process together. So the important signal is not that OpenAI built a better chat window. It is that, inside OpenAI, work already shifted toward an agent surface. If your team still treats AI mainly as search with typing, you are studying the old interface. The frontier is delegated work. The next advantage comes from running it well. This is Agentic Frontier.